Hey there guys, Conceptual Concept 6.9 here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and today I wanted to go over how I like to set up my chest rigs. It's not really a work of art. I think it's pretty standard for most people, but let's just go over it. So this is a Marines Corps surplus TAPS rig. I just received this. I'm playing around with it. As you can see, it does fit AK magazines, but the retention straps do not wrap around. Kinda common sense, this was designed for AR mags. A lot of guys have messaged me saying get the bungee retention. I actually think I'm gonna keep it like this because I really like the tearaway Velcro retention system for AR mags, and I have a Sposson rig that does something similar for AKs, and it's designed fairly similar to this as well. So I'm probably gonna use this chest rig for AR mag systems and my Sposson rig for AK mag systems. And again, I can set them up incredibly similar, so I'm not really concerned about that. So let's start getting into the meat and potatoes of this. For the most part, I really like chest rigs that can really carry most of your stuff. As you can see, I've got 7 AK magazines in here. I could fit 8, but I'm using the 8th magazine pouch for my Baofeng radio. Now I have an extended battery on this Baofeng radio. I've found personally, for the distances I talk with my buddies with, this antenna is just fine. I really don't need a bigger one or one that can stretch out further for most of the stuff I'm going to be doing with this, as well as you really don't want your radio signal and shit hit the fan reaching too far. More people can find it, triangulate, etc. Might be worth carrying a bigger antenna in your pack, but this is what I got, right? I do have a larger antenna on my other Baofeng that I keep in my go bag, so that's just used for that. No big deal there. So moving on past the magazines and the Baofeng, I am using a push-to-talk for my Peltors for my helmet. I really like these quite a bit. However, it might be worth getting one that's dual function. I saw Blue Jeans operator's video on how he sets up his comms and having that little police kind of walkie-talkie deal on his. Might be worth doing that in the future, we'll see, but as for right now, I'm pretty happy using the push-to-talk. Now, let's go on to the other shoulder strap. This is Ranger beads. They're not anal beads, so relax, internet. But if you don't know what these are an incredibly handy tool to get a general distance of travel. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but each of these, you count out 100 meters of walking, and you'll have to count your stride to make it count. Once you get to, we've got 9 small beads. Once you get to the 10th, you move a large bead down. That means you traveled a kilometer roughly, etc. And then you reset the small beads, continue 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, all that good stuff. I really didn't know what these were until I took a land nav course last year. Really grateful to the guys that put that on. Some really good information there. Now moving back, in the map pouch, I have local maps for my area. It's really important to have maps and the ability to find your way around if you're rucking around, if you're doing anything crazy like that. I also have a protractor, not a math protractor, but a map protractor to help me plot my courses, etc. Now, moving on, I do have one canteen. A lot of guys are running the hydration bladders. I'm kind of retarded. I don't maintain them well enough. They end up getting green shit in there and I throw them out. So I really like canteens for water. Water is lifeblood. When you're rucking around, when you're outdoors, you need to stay hydrated. So I keep one canteen, and in that canteen pouch, I also keep some iodine tablets to purify the water. If I need to source from the water down below, probably don't want to drink that straight. Giardia or beaver fever is a real thing. I don't want to be shitting out my ass and mouth. So not super jazzed about that concept. Definitely have a way to purify your water. Moving on, I do have mechanics gloves strapped in here. It's good to wear gloves, keep your hands nice and clean and protected. Getting scratches, bleeding, all that good stuff. Infection, not a good idea. So let's move on. I don't know how necessary this is. Probably a distance guard would be lighter and provide 90% of the utility, but I have a rangefinder here. I really like this because I'm able to kind of guesstimate the distance, or actually get exact counts on the distance from point A to B, and I don't have to worry about trying to manage all that stuff. Even plotting your course, you can be like, okay, that's 1,000 meters away, we got a ways to go, 1 kilometer, and it would help in your land nav. So moving on to the main pouch, I have an IFAK here. I've got replacement batteries for my night vision, for my lights, which I had to use 2 of these last night, so I'm out, or I'm down to 2. I've got batteries for my night vision and batteries for my Peltors. Again, my Peltors had died. I ended up using that. Now I also have a Princeton Tech headlamp. Really cool part about this is when you click, it immediately goes to red. I know there are a lot of headlamps that have red functions, but you have to click through the white to get to the red. Princeton Tech is really nice because red, it gives a little less signal to the visual eye than white light. So if you're trying to do nighttime navigation, typically you're not going to want to use your red light anyways, but if you need to check your map to figure out which direction you need to go, etc., this provides red light. It's going to be a lot less noticeable to the naked eye. It's still going to pop up hella with night vision, so be careful. Light discipline is important. Past that, I do have an inhaler. I have very mild asthma. I haven't needed an inhaler for probably 4 or 5 years now, but in case I end up overexerting myself and my asthma rears its ugly head, I got this. I do have a little pick-me-up. I've got some what is this, Lemon Sublime. It's just caffeine gel to kind of help me jumpstart. I do have a compass. I really like these flat compasses. I know the Lensatic compasses are a little easier to land nav with and plot your course, but this one is so much flatter and easier to handle. I have a Lensatic compass in my pack, but as for just my chest rig, I'm trying to not overload this guy. Now, I do have a Write in the Rain notebook with a Write in the Rain pen. You can use normal pens, but once everything gets wet, the normal pens don't work as well. So I recommend getting a Write in the Rain pen as well to go with that. Now, I do a little lock picking. I'm by no means an expert, but I have a lock picking kit, really handy for being able to get in places you otherwise couldn't, that are locked, etc., without making a bunch of noise with a sledgehammer or anything like that. I do have a lighter. Anyone using flint and steel needs to get with the times. I know flint and steel is a good idea to know how to use, but end of the day, the lighter does 90% of the work for you. It's much easier. Probably have both, but I have a lighter in case I need to light a fire. Probably won't. I have a Leatherman, because if you don't have a Leatherman in your kit, you're wrong. And that is about it for this one. Now, past that, I am running a tourniquet here. I have a tourniquet in my med kit as well. So 2 tourniquets. Probably should have more, but 2 I feel is a good number to start with. Lastly, I do have my night vision pouch. This is a Surplus Trijicon night vision pouch from, I got it at Sportsman's Guide. I looked for another one, but it looks like they're out. But I fit my single monocular. This is an EOTech. You could do a PVS 14 as well. But I fit my single monocular and the little mount for it as well to go with my helmet. So this is padded because you want to protect your night vision. So you'll notice that this chest rig is pretty well a standalone system, minus everything most people keep in their packs, and it even has some sustainment stuff minus food, which God knows I've got a little in reserve. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? So reason why is I'm not completely convinced I need a handgun directly on tap if shit hits the fan or multiple other scenarios. I think my rifle is going to be my primary fighting thing. I'm kind of going off of Blue Jean Operator here and his wisdom. I do have a handgun in the backpack, but it's not a completely traditional type handgun. So you'll have to stay tuned for the backpack video to figure out what's in that. But I find this is pretty substantial for most things. I've got over a combat load. I've got medical, I've got water, I've got a lot of good stuff in here. I might have overdone it. I would love to hear in the comments what you guys think I should have done differently. But past that, don't forget to go outside and touch grass and eat ass, all right guys?